Alright, I'm here to talk about As Above, So Below. A movie I thought was going to be good going in. I wasn't expecting it to be a blockbuster hit or something like that because, I don't know, those only come once in a while, once every summer, so on and so forth. So it being the end of the summer, I decided I'll give this a shot. This movie sucked. This movie sucked. Big time. I mean, uh, it was horrible. It had some good parts in it, but it was horrible. Nevertheless, it was horrible, horrible. Waste of a $10. Waste, waste. If it had been in 3D, it probably would have been worth it. But not now. Oh man. I mean, even though the 3D craze is sort of crazy and all that stuff, this movie could have been so much better in 3D. This movie could have been better, freaking period, if they had a good thing going with the GoPros, because this is gonna be spoil heavy. I'm gonna spoil the everything about this movie. So if you don't want to have it spoiled for you, go watch the movie, then come back to this review. I'll give you about 5 seconds to go in the movie theater and come out. Alright, you're back. It was horrible, wasn't it? Because let me tell you what happens first. First, let me think if I can remember this. It's this woman with a GoPro in Pakistan, I think. Because I locked my... here's what happened. I went to the movie theaters, I got in, I sat through like 20 minutes of trailers, like every single movie theater. So I was like, oh crap, I need more popcorn. Went to go get popcorn, came back, and the movie already started. But it was only like 2 minutes into it. But the part I was at, I don't know if they had it like at the bottom where the place was, or where she was at. But it was Pakistan or Iraq, I don't know. I'm just making a random assumption here. But it was her in a cave. And get this, she was in a cave, alright? And she notices some writing. So she has her GoPro and she's scanning it for some odd reason. It's like a picture of it's a bull's head or something. And so she's scanning it with her GoPro and she's like, oh no, I guess people were coming after her for a hug. I'm just gonna assume they want a hug from her, so they just come. The police comes and just, I don't know what was going on in that situation. They don't really. I don't even think they explain it. I don't know. I don't believe that. So, from what I'm talking to right now, I've seen the movie straight on, like no interruptions except for a later part. I'll tell you about that. But so she goes to She goes to a tomb underground. She sees a guy hanging, which I suppose is her father. Yeah, that's her father. So she sees her father hanging, and she doesn't seem too fazed by it at the moment. If I remember, she didn't seem too fazed by it. So they escape, and it just cuts into like the future with her walking down the streets of the heck if I can remember the place. But it's just her walking down the streets. It's a bright sunny day and all that. So she's walking down the street talking to a camera. I guess she's getting interviewed or something. And then it just cuts again to where does it cut to then? Alright, it has what's his name? It's a camera dude called Benji. Who knows? It just like cuts in there. I don't know if I don't know what the heck was going on with that movie, but it cuts in. There's this guy called Benji who is filming her, and I don't know if this was before the events or after the events, because they don't even give you a time, like what is happening in specific parts of time, so you can be confused through the movie. But so she goes with Benji, and they go recruit this other guy. Her name is Scarlet, and the other guy's name is. The names really don't stick with you. The only name that stuck with me throughout the whole movie was Benji, because he was the actual person holding the camera. So if I knew it was a shaky camera, it was Benji. That's the only way. That's really. I knew his name even before I knew. Well, I didn't. Me personally, I noticed Benji's name far faster than I noticed Scarlet. Just because Benji does some actual good talking. Scarlet is just. Scarlet is pretty. I'll give her some credit where credit is due. She's like a female Tomb Raider in this movie, because she's just going around like breaking all the rules, like finding hidden secrets within. They go into a museum, and they find a tablet, right? A huge stone tablet with the writings on it. So she just picks it straight up, puts it on the table, lights it on fire, while apparently there was no security guards there. They was just standing around picking their nose or something. So she sets the thing on fire, and some hidden text is there, and I'm just gonna call them what should I call them? Dumb love interest. I'm gonna call them that throughout the rest of this review. Dumb love interest is all like, don't do that, oh my gosh, we're gonna get caught. And then when she lights it on fire and it reveals text, he's like, oh, that's cool, but not as cool as we're going to jail. I guess he got sent to a Turkish jail while accompanying her to, Turkey. So, let me think about this. After that, this is the part I was gonna say I had to walk out on, because I left my windows rolled down while it was raining, and I had to run back to my car to raise them up. So anywho, I got back, and they were in a nightclub talking to some other explorers who were interested in that. I literally walked out, came back in, and solved that. I figured that out without that whole scene. That was like a 5-minute walk. I figured all that out, and all I could is, they seem like they wasted so much time on the little things. But, so they go into a van, and they're explaining all the different equipment, and if they don't have water, can't survive this or that. If someone gets hurt, they can't survive this or that. Which they kind of messed up, because the lady was like, no one can get hurt. If someone gets hurt, they're already dead underneath the tomb. And stupid love interest gets hurt while they're in the tomb. So that kind of rattles it up a bit. What happens after that? Right, I can't remember. Alright, let me remember. Okay. They got in the van. Then they were going to, it was like what's his name? Benji. And they were heading into the tomb area, which was just a subway hole. It was a literal hole that looked like a subway train could go through it. I assume that a subway train does go through there or something. But it has like graffiti on the walls and all that stuff. And apparently this guy likes graffitiing Poppy. So, like P-A-P exclamation mark. So, they go down there, and it's they have a choice between crawling through bones and crawling through a forbidden space that their friend crawled through. They said his friend went through that area and never returned. If he crawled through there, it was all blocked up still. If he had crawled through there, wouldn't it be open then? It wouldn't be closed because he went in there. But whatever. What happens after that? After they crawl through the bones, Benji gets stuck, and he's saying, "Help me!" Oh wait, no, no, no. Even before that, it has them looking like going through the subway, and they turn to the right, and it's like these weird people dressed in like white and stuff. They don't really make an appearance. It makes no sense why they would even put them in the freaking movie if you're not gonna even attempt to show them doing something scary. They only do scary. They do one scary thing, but I'll get to that later. But it was so when they showed up, it was epic because you thought, they were the scary main guys that were gonna scare. I mean, they scared me. That was the first. That was the second. I only got scared twice in this movie. It's not that scary, but I got scared only twice. One of them was to that. It's not easy to scare me, by the way. Yeah, spider. It's not easy to scare me, by the way. So, first, it was a ton of them. Like they were doing, like I think they were naked too. It was weird, but they were like standing and looking, just chanting for some reason, like rah 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 rah, and so Benji's looking there, and then one of them just turns their head like, no, 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 it was like. And then Benji's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And everyone's like, what's wrong, Benji? He's like, nothing. Nothing. Their reactions to things are impeccable. Like, I'm just gonna jump ahead here. I'm gonna go back to how the story went out. But I'm gonna jump ahead here to a point where stupid love interest sees a boy like right over like just standing there. It's an illusion. So he sees the boy standing there, and he's like, "Oh, jeez!" And everyone's just like, "What's wrong?" And he's just like, "Nothing." Yeah, yeah. You just didn't see an illusion there. Just nothing. And I'm gonna jump even up further ahead because stupid love interest is just so stupid. So so he's crawling. I'll get to this point too. They have their both legs and they're walking like two beams. Okay, think about it here. Two beams and right and left leg, and you're going like this, and there's water in between with bones. So he looks down and sees the same kid and starts flipping out. Why didn't you flip out before? Why didn't you flip out when you saw him the first time and like run? Because he literally like goes down, tries to freaking go in the water to get the guy. How come he didn't run all the way in when he was in the tomb? Rewind now all the way back to the beginning where they're I was at the part where the maidens, yeah. So they have a choice between going through the bones. Benji gets, I think I said that already. Yeah, okay, Benji got stuck going through the bone. Okay, here we go. I didn't mention this. This does have some funny parts in it. Like when Benji gets stuck, he starts flipping out. He's like, "Oh my gosh, what's going on?" And he's still holding the camera. I think he had the camera down. I don't know what was going on, but he had the camera like reversed, so you could see his reaction, which I would think was really weird. This is why when you do movies like this that are actually first person, you have to think about how people are going to go through it, because if you're actually going to go through that, you wouldn't have the camera facing you unless, because you would think that it could be another person's GoPro, but they already went through. So that would mean they would have to bend down all the way in there, and if that was the case, they could have pulled him out, but they didn't pull him out. So, I don't know, maybe he just turned the camera as he was going in there or something. But anywho, as Benji's going through, he starts flipping out saying, "Stop them from chanting! What the heck, man? Stop them from chanting! Oh man, I think I just peed myself!" No, he didn't say that, but I just added that in. So he starts shifting through the bones like crazy because the chanting is getting louder. And it's like a large rumbling noise is happening as he's trying to go through there. So he goes through, but one thing I don't get is they didn't show the other people going through. Like, did they show? I don't think they showed all of them. They omitted like one or two of them, but they was all going through. So after Benji gets out, what happens after that? Because the whole thing is like it loops in a circle, really. Everything sort of it loops around and around and around and around. As above, so below. You'll get that phrase later. Anywho, so the next stage is. Wait, never mind. Because they go there, and it's sort of they go straight through it. So there was no turns or bends or anything. As soon as they get there, they look around, and it's the same exact area they were at. So what they end up doing is going through the area where the friend got lost. They go through it, break the rubble, which really shouldn't have been there in the first place. If the narrow passage with the bones didn't get any rubble in it, or didn't close or anything, how in the world did that close? It's even bigger than the other one. It's as big as a tombstone. So I don't get how that could have. Maybe that was an innuendo too. It's like it was in the shape of a tombstone. Who knows? But anywho, they start digging through that for some reason and go through there because Scarlet is a crazy psycho. While stupid love interest starts complaining some more. He whines throughout the whole thing, and you just want him to shut up. When she was trying to recruit him, he just wouldn't shut up. But whatever. So they start, going through the tunnel, and they start digging through it. So after they get done digging through it, they go through it, and it's a poppy thing, the spray paint thing that he tagged. And they were like, what is this doing here? But one thing this is what I don't get, why the writers will put this in here. It's PAP ... not exclamation. So it's not his thing. He only does one exclamation mark. People who do tags have a certain way of following their style to a T. They wouldn't change it up like that. So why did they make the character so stupid not to notice that? Even stupid love interest, who is smart at sometimes, was dumb in this moment because he didn't even notice. I think he was the first one that started flipping out for some reason. But anyway, omitting all of that, they find their friend that was lost in there. So he's like, well, you left me here to die, blah blah blah, and is he an illusion? I don't know if he's an illusion or not. But, anywho, he's like, you left me here to die, yada yada yada. They're like, no, we didn't. He tries to show them a way, and this is the part where the stupid love interest sees the boy, like, across the way, and he's just like, ah! And then they're like, what's wrong? Oh, nothing. So they keep following the dead guy, I'm just gonna say. Because I really can't catch his name, because the names were kind of out of there. I can't say it personally, but the names were, I can't, I'm not used to saying those words, the pronunciation of it, so I'm not going to go and butcher their names. I'm just going to call him Dead Guy. So, I will call him Dead Friend. There we go. So Dead Friend leads them to an area that looks, was it exactly the same? No, it was a dead end. So they start flipping out on the guy. The other person stupid love interest wants to punch him for some odd reason. I don't know where that anger came from, but they start looking at the walls, and then they pull out a stone. If I believe they pull out a stone, and it opens up a passage, because they start doing some weird finishing each other's sentences, reading off some notes they have or something. They really did not freaking explain it. So you're lost throughout the whole thing. You're just sitting there wondering where the scary part's gonna happen. That's all you're doing throughout this whole movie, is sitting there waiting for the scary part. Oh, that was kind of scary. Anywho, they pull out a slab and a secret door opens, and fuzzy. I'm fuzzy. I can't remember. I can remember up to a certain point, but they go through. Do they drop down? No. So they actually find the treasure. This girl is looking for a philosopher's stone, and her father has a tie into it because everyone's calling her crazy because she's trying to find the stone. At first I thought she was just looking for adventure, you know. That's what she says in the beginning, I believe. She's like, I'm looking for adventure to clear my father's name or something to prove I'm not crazy. I don't know what her motive was, but they find the treasure. So get this, is the Philosopher's Stone on the wall, and it's a treasure there. So Scarlet goes through. They have to go underwater to actually get there. She goes through it, and she doesn't come back to say like, hey guys, it's cool. She just stands there. So they're all thinking, oh crap, she's dead. Let's leave the I'm kidding, they don't do that. They're thinking, oh crap, she's dead. So stupid love interest is like, I'm going down there. Oh. Then he dives in there, and then he comes up, and he's just looking. He doesn't say anything. She turns around. I don't even know if she was crying or not, but she gives him a big old hug saying, I knew it was here. So I'm just going to call them the other guys. The other guys come through too, and they wanted the money part of it. I guess this is what they was talking about in the nightclub, or when I said the nightclub part, I guess this is what they were talking about. So they wanted 50-50 of the treasure. Even the stupid love interest was like, you can have 100. He was like, no, we're only taking 50. Okay. That's how it happened. So they get to the treasure, and it's a massive room of treasure. I mean, there's like gold coins on the floor and everything. So Scarlet takes the Philosopher's Stone and nothing happens. So she starts thinking about it. She's like, oh wait, if I took this, while the guys are freaking like yanking at the gate to the treasure, well, you could just pick up some coins. There was enough gold on that floor than probably in the locked room. So you guys could have just gathered up all of that gold and left with the Philosopher's Stone. But nope, these guys decide, alright, we're gonna tear this down. They don't even have anything to carry the gold in. Why in the heck would you not? If I recall, they was probably gonna carry it in some bags, but that doesn't make any sense. There was enough gold around the area to probably fill up a bag or two. And if not, they could just go back down there. Anywho, they tear down the wall, and it just starts friggin' crashing down. Everything is just starting to crash down, and everyone's looking around like, Scarlet says right after they tore it down, it's a trap! It's a trap! It's a trap! It's a trap! So everything starts crashing down once they freaking yank the gate off from it, which you would think they wouldn't do, considering the support system of being that far underground. If it was a grate or something, you wouldn't want to move that. I'm just going to assume it'll do that anyway. That probably wasn't a trap. That was probably just the freaking walls coming down because that place hasn't been touched in years. If they move a stone and everything starts freaking falling down, don't they assume that if they move a freaking cage that something is going to happen? Anywho, so they all get injured, and this dude has like a cut on his nose, and his nose is like broken, and this girl has like her arm seared off, it's not seared off, but it's like cut like right down the middle. So she's like, I have the stone, and she starts chopping it off, and she puts it over the wound and holds it like this, and it heals it. But, but every single time they cut back to that guy with the broken nose, I just picture him saying, "Why didn't you use the Philosopher's Stone on me?" Because his nose is really messed up. It's probably more messed up than the girl's arm was. It's just like really bent. I know that it has to hurt him. And he lasts throughout this whole movie. And she didn't even think once about, I'll use the Philosopher's Stone to heal your nose. So they're all right, and everyone's okay, and they kind of forget about the, what do I call him, dead friend. They kind of just totally forget about him. I don't know, because with the GoPro, with the camera angles the way they are, you can see few things, and you can see you can't see everyone in the scene. Maybe that was what they was going for, but I think they would be pretty freaked out if their dead friend just disappeared out of nowhere. Because he does seem to come back, but when they go into the treasure room, he doesn't follow them. And they don't notice that, which I don't understand. So they keep walking, and I'm gonna omit some scenes because I really can't remember how everything turned out the way it did. I remember how everyone died. I just don't remember how everything turned out. If I recall, Benji was not the first to die, and Benji was black. That's what I was surprised about. Usually, the black person dies in every scary movie, but he didn't. I think he was like the first, second, third to die. Anywho, so they did follow cliche. The girl died first, because they find the dead friend, and they're like, the girl walks up to him, and he's a little wonky, so the girl walks up to him, taps him on the shoulder. He starts wigging out, shaking his arms, then he takes her head and goes, poof. And that was it. That was horrible. That was the death. I mean, when he just jumped up out of nowhere, that was a jump scare. I didn't jump. I was just sitting there all cool, and then I was like, he's gonna do something. I mean, it's sort of expecting it. Like if he hadn't have done that, because you knew he was gonna flip out or something, because you could tell that they was building up the scene to where he was gonna flip out. Because he was helping him out way too much. You could tell he was building it up. So he was just sitting there. If he had been like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't there," that would have shocked me. Because I'm like, wow, he didn't kill her. But he just got, as expected, he just smashes her head in. And then the dude is just like, use the stone. Use the stone. The stone can't bring back the dead. Which they contradict. They effing contradicted when... I don't want to spoil the ending. I'll tell you about that contradiction when that comes. But, so she tries to sprinkle it because that dude freaking smashed her head in. And I guess they were all just sitting there like... Stop doing that! And they pull him away. I don't know what really happens to him then. I think he just disappears. They just forget about him. So, yeah. She just gets her head kerplonkled. Oh. Or, no, I think the black guy died. He was the second one to die. Because they were going down a tunnel. How did that guy die, though? I think he got pulled down somewhere. How did he die? Oh. Never mind. I'll get to that part later. So, what they end up doing is they're just like, oh no, she's dead. And they keep going. And they go. Wait, they was looking around the room, and this is where they came up with the "as above, so below." They actually said it in the movie, because they were looking at a painting. It was like a triangle with a dude's head, and they had a triangle down here with the dude's head, and they were looking at it, and she was like, "This explains as above, so below. It means death or something." No, they was reading text at the bottom, and she was like, "It means death." Or something. So they press forward. So they press forward, and it turns out it's the same corridor, you know, with the water in between and the two ledges. So they're walking through it, and as they're walking through it, shoot. Yeah, as they're walking through it, they come around again, and they're at the exact same spot. Notice this spot has a slot for the Philosopher's Stone, which she just randomly decided, this is mine. Okay, so keep that in mind. So they circle around again, and they're like, we're at the same spot we were before. So what they end up doing is crawling through another gap or something, and they come across this area with... Was Benji alive then? Oh yeah, that guy died too. Yeah, as they was crossing the blood pool thing, the one guy died. It's like he was looking in there or something. He was looking at a reflection, and he got pulled in, and you never see him again. Then they come across this room with this dead dude, who is... This was before before the person had taken the stone. So they, as they were going through it, because there are so many rooms they go through, it gets confusing. So they go through it. This is before the stone, as they were heading to get the stone and the treasure and all that. They look at this dead dude, and if you don't notice, this is the same guy's face that was on the triangle thing. I guess they didn't piece two and two together, because... But, anywho, this is the same guy's face, and he's dead, but his skin and stuff hasn't rotted. And they were all like, oh, his skin hasn't rotted, and yada yada. So the second time they come around, his face is all rotted. And they come across this chair with, like, the grim... They don't explain anything. I don't know if this dude was supposed to be the Grim Reaper or what, but they don't explain it. He just comes up like he's what's his name? The Darth Vader's master. I don't know his name. He uses lightning. Anywho, he just comes up like he's him, and he's just turned around like, blah. He starts chasing everyone, and they go down they propel or something. It's a line that goes down that the mountain climbers use. I don't know how they got all this freaking rope, but maybe they were prepared for this situation. But they go down, and everyone else goes down. Then Benji goes down, and I suppose his line got stuck or something. And you see one of the little girls that was in the room from the beginning, just walk by. You just see him like and he's just looking like, what was that? He's like, he starts doing it, and you would assume at this point they would do a close-up of the girl, like Rah! But they don't. His line just drops. Like, it's not even. It's sort of like they were going for a scare there, but it wasn't particularly scary. It's just the line just snaps all of a sudden, and he's falling down. And then they turn him around. Freaking Charlotte turns him around. Benji, are you okay? Yeah, he's okay. He's dead. He's dead. Yeah, he's okay. Every single time something happens to someone, are you okay? I got my freaking arm sliced off. I got my nose broke. I'm dead. Yeah, I'm okay. So, after Benji dies, if I recall, it was stupid love interest, Charlotte, and broken nose guy left. And they start going through, and this is where stuff gets freaking weird. Because they start going through, and some I don't want to call them gargoyles, stone people start coming through, and the stone people come through, they're literally made of stone, and they're attacking them. I don't know if they were made of stone or brick or wall, or why they're even there to begin with, but they start attacking everyone. I skipped past some scenes, I think. I don't think I did. They weren't really important scenes, or else I would have remembered them. But, so, the gargoyles or something has some razor sharp teeth. Everyone else dodges them except for stupid love interest, who gets bit in the neck. I mean, just like, so he's like, blood's coming all out of him. So they drag him. I skipped a part. Before this, yada yada, they had 4 people, and one of them, it was like a burning car. They came across a corner. It was a burning car with a dude sitting in the back seat. And the guy's like, I didn't mean to do it. It wasn't my fault. It wasn't your fault for what? What did you do? You didn't explain it in the movie. You just sat there and said, it wasn't my fault. What did you do? Play freaking patty cake with the driver? And that's how it doesn't make any sense how they did that. It doesn't. Because he just comes up out of nowhere with the burning car. And they drag him in there, and the car just freaking whoop, combusts. No, it doesn't combust like an explosion. It implodes. It implodes. It's an implosion. It's an implosion of fire with his legs halfway through the ceiling. These dummies are trying to pull him up while his legs are literally like this and cut off in the floor. His legs are cut off in the floor. So imagine this is the floor, right here. These 2 things are his legs. This is all you see of him. These idiots are trying to pull him up, even though his legs are already merged with the floor. What part was I at? Okay. Alright, so now I'm at the final 3. The final 3 people, you got stupid love interest. I think his name was Charlie or something. I don't know. The only people I can remember is Benji and Scarlet. But stupid love interest get his neck chopped off or bitten, and he's just gushing blood everywhere. So you're like, oh, he's dead for sure. So she tries to use the Philosopher's Stone, and she's like, it's not working. Why isn't it working? And he says something in blood speak. That's literally what he said. You can't understand it. And she's like, oh, what did you say? I'm bleeding out here, you idiot. Stop him. Or something. I don't know what he said. But she decides, oh, revelation. I have to return the Philosopher's Stone from that room we passed twice. Huh, who'd have thought? I would have thought if they had just taken... This is what I don't get about that, you know? These people who know so much and can read the signs and all that would be specific about monkey's paw sort of deal, you know? Like, if you take... That's even the basic rule of alchemy. What is it? You can't take something without giving something an equal value or something like that. And you can transmute with the Philosopher's Stone gold and such things. They said it in Full Metal Alchemist. That's what I mean. That's how I know all this alchemy stuff, and I researched it myself. But I know I can't bring back the dead. But what was it? It was like it was in the basic. I'm trying to think of the Full Metal Alchemist theme because they said it in the beginning of every song, of every episode. They said it in the beginning. Crap. I can't remember it. I can't remember it. They said it in the beginning of every single episode. Seriously, look it up. Every single episode they say the beginning and what alchemy is. But it's equal value. So you could have figured out that, hey, if I have this Philosopher's Stone and they took the gold, maybe I should put the Philosopher's Stone back. Maybe that's what he gargled out. Put the stone back. So she's like, keep him there. He'll be alive when I come back. This guy is bleeding like pints and pints of blood. He would be dead. He would be dead right now. I think he was probably dead. Because he's just gushing out. It is unbelievably amounts of blood. He's just like all over. It's like if someone took a painting of red paint and just gushed it all over the walls. That's how much blood was just spewing out of him. Just, which makes no sense, because if he had lost that much blood, he would be unconscious. So he wouldn't have said, gurgle, 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 or whatever he said to the freaking girl. So she runs all the way back. All the way back to this part where the treasure was, which you wouldn't think would be so much or so far, but given this topsy-turvy world, she has to run back. So this is where I mentioned the Tomb Raider part. This chick runs back, punches and kicks the gargoyles out of her way. This is what I don't get. And the guy comes up and I think she like punches him. The dead friend comes up and she just like wails on the guy. And she just keeps on going. And it has some hands that grab her. And she's like, I'm not going down. She's like fighting them. It was nuts. And this is what I don't get, how a stupid love interest could get caught by a guy going blah, while the guys were rushing at her. She just went bam, bam, bam. Freaking knocked all of them out of her way. Ran straight through it like they should have done in the beginning. But that's not the point. She puts the stone back and she starts wailing it all the way back to the location where the guy was. But as she's going there, the Grim Reaper comes by and he's just walking all slow. And the guy with the broken nose is just like, holy crap! And he starts pulling stupid love interest by his arms, and he's just like pulling him. I would think that would make him bleed out faster, because the bleeding hadn't stopped. But I digress. He just keeps pulling him back, and this girl is just like trailing through this friggin' area, like she's on like they had some hidden crack in her pocket or something. She just went. She starts wailing through that place, punching those gargoyles still, kicking them out of the way. I think she comes up to the guy, and she just like moves him, pushes him, just moving everything out of her way. And she comes to her hanging dude, like in the beginning. She comes to a guy with just hanging. And she gives him a hug saying, oh, Dad, I'm sorry I didn't answer the phone when you did whatever, because I don't even know the dang freaking story, because they don't explain it, but apparently it has something to do with the phone. But anyway, she gives the guy a hug, and he disappears, and she starts wailing it again. She makes it to stupid love interest, and she looks over at his neck, and it's still gushing out blood, so she's like, this seems like a good idea. Just kisses him, the bleeding stops, and the guy with the broken nose just looks up like, how did you do that? Give me a kiss! My nose is broken! It amazes me how no one helped that guy. But how did they get out of there? If I recall, they kept running, and it was like a manhole that they tried to lift up, but they couldn't, because as above, so below. So they start pushing it down, and they see street. This was cool. I like how they did this, because they actually, it's like uh, they're in the same city, I assume. They don't really explain anything. They could be they could be in the middle. They could have went through the earth into freaking China for all I know that they could be at. So they pushed down, and this is exactly what I thought. I thought they like went to China or something, because then when they was going through, they had to imagine if this was upside down. And it's like astronauts, you know how they float and they're upside down. They have to sit in their chairs, so they have to like position themselves and squat down. That's how it was. They had to position themselves to push up on the earth. So it's like gravity is reversed. So they get on level ground and everything's just quiet. They start giving each other hugs. They go into, all three of them give each other a little group hug, and the guy, the third wheel, I'm gonna call him, just looks around and he just walks off. It doesn't, nothing is explained. He just sort of just do. I'm gonna go this way. And stupid love interest and Scarlet hug. Then bam! Future time! Did I explain that little kid? Yeah, I did. I explained it because he was looking underneath and he starts flipping out. I don't think I missed anything. Yeah, so bam, future time. And she's explaining something that was so ridiculous. Because I was sitting in the movie theater, I was like, this is not the end of this movie. That she's going to go on another adventure. This is not the end of this movie. Roll credits. I was in the movie theater with my jaw open. Everyone else around me was just like, what the heck just happened? Was that the end? I was like, what in the world? What in the world? I got so mad I like balled up my popcorn, freaking left that theater. I was the first one out of that theater. Because it was horrible. Who ends a movie like that? Everyone was just looking around shocked. Because it was like, did we really just watch this crap? I don't know why people are calling that. I could see it if you're easily scared of some jump scares. There were a few of those, but the story sucked. That story sucked. If I was to rate this movie, I would give it a 6 out of 10. Because it has 4 out of 10. No, not even that. This is like a 3 out of 10. I'm giving this, if I was to rate this, I would give it a 3 out of 10. Because it is just out of my hands. It's just a horrid movie. That has you hanging on the edge of your seats, wondering what's going to happen next, just to get disappointed and storm off. That movie blew. You know what? I'm going to recommend you guys don't watch this DVD. Don't go to the movie theaters for this. Don't go to the movie theaters for this. Wait till it goes out to rent. Rent it if you must. But if you go and see this in the movies, I guarantee you will be disappointed. You will be disappointed at the amount of sheer, utter foolishness that this movie has you sit through. This movie, how long was this movie? This movie wasn't even about, this movie was about an hour and 45 minutes, I want to say, or 80 minutes, which is about an hour and 20, hour and 30. I'm recommending you guys do not see this movie in theaters. If you must, or if you really want to see this movie, or by the directors of Quantum and another movie I can't really remember. I'm not really into the scary movie scene, but don't see this movie. I haven't seen a movie this bad since I reviewed, and this is a lot coming from me, since I reviewed G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero, like months back. It's on this channel, like months back. I haven't seen a movie this bad since then. It blew blows. It blows. Big time. Everything I explained from this point on, that's why this movie blows. It just blows all your money away that you spent getting popcorn and drinks and just blows it in the wind with your admission ticket. Sucks. This movie sucks. Oh. When I watched this movie, I literally felt like at the end, they spat in my face in 3D. Like, they literally just spat in my face. Like, you're not getting the true ending. It's like if you play a video game and you beat every single thing else, at the end they tell you there's a secret ending to this game. And you're just like, but I just spent all these hours. Yep, you have to do a new game plus to see the true ending or something. I don't know. It's like I don't know if you guys are relevant to this, but it's like that Batman Arkham Origins game. You know, you find all the Riddler trophies. It takes you hours upon hours to find all of them because you can't get to them without a certain gadget or whatnot. To unlock all the network relays, to destroy all the mini computers. So after you finish that, you're like, yes, I get to face the Riddler. You get in there, you hack his terminal, you go in his room, no Riddler to beat up. Yeah, that's how this movie felt. It's like it led up to something so big and just dropped. It just dropped, left you with the room of nothing but future hopes, but future intuitions, you know, like future feelings, you know, like future feelings that you would feel later on, but not at this particular moment. I think my lights are going off. I don't know how long I've been reviewing. How long has this review been? Like 30 minutes? This movie sucked. That's why I'm saying don't watch this movie in theaters unless you really have a hankering to see a bad movie. Don't watch this in theaters. Wait till it goes to rent, Redbox, Netflix, YouTube. I doubt it'll probably go on YouTube. This movie is not worth your admission ticket. I will tell you this right freaking now. This is a disappointment. This is a disappointment. This is like having your childhood crushed. Like freaking crushed. It wouldn't be so bad. Even if they attempted to have this in 3D, there were some spots there that 3D could have worked, because when you have like I don't know if this was just like a marketing gimmick for the GoPros. That's probably what this whole movie was about. Hey, if you buy GoPros, you can be like the people in this movie. I bet that's the reason they even decided to make a movie like this. Because it's not like they was following a specific story. They didn't even explain half the characters in this. Who was the guy that looked like... his name isn't Darth Maul. What is his name? You know, it explained that guy in Star Wars more than they explained the characters in this one. It explained Darth Vader's master more than it explained the people in this movie, which is minimal. Which is minimal. It seems like they focused more on trying to transition the new language of, you know, like we know a specific language that you people in the audience may not know. It was Egyptian, I think they were going for. I don't know what sort of language they were even translating, because they don't explain anything. It's like they expect you to just know it, which leaves you in the movie theaters sitting there wondering what the heck is going on. I almost fell asleep. Because it's just so much talking and talking. The action doesn't come. Well, the action starts off right off the bat. Then it's just like a still heartbeat, just boom, 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 boom. Then it starts beating up fast. It's like a full. You wouldn't believe. I don't know if the movie was just short or did it just lack content? Because it felt like I was in there for only 30 minutes at the most. It felt like I was only in there for about 30 minutes. I'm all for game, for hour-long movies, if it's even an hour. But you gotta have enough meat in the content for it to taste good. That doesn't make any sense, but you know what I'm trying to say. You gotta have enough content in there for it to be good. If you just slop together some sloppy joes, don't put any meat in it, all it is just sauce and beans and a bun and a burger. But a bun, and that's about it. It feels like there was no meat into it. They didn't try to explain people's backstories because they thought it might take up so much time to cut away from the GoPros. Benji starts with stupid love interest, and they're in the tunnel, and Benji says something to him. I couldn't catch it because they're in a tunnel. It's like they're mumbling. I don't think the GoPros helped in that. I'm kidding. But I don't think they were just mumbling throughout it. So you really couldn't understand the word he said to a stupid love interest. He said it like, and then he says, "It's the GoPro on me, Benji." Benji's like, "Yeah." And he just walks off. And Scarlett's like, "Don't talk about his brother." I didn't even hear him say the word brother. All I heard was, I wonder what they're going to put on the back of this DVD. Like when it comes out on physical form, what are they going to put on it? Are they going to put this... I'm just thinking about what it's going to say, because it's going to be ridiculously fragmented. It's going to fragment from the actual truth. It's going to be something like, this movie is a thriller... No. Let me try to exact this out to a T. It's going to probably say, Scarlett and friends try to uncover the truth that lie beneath the world below. They're going to try to add as above below. That dwells below, as they decipher hidden secrets of the underground and fight and try to overcome their own inner demons to find peace within themselves. I bet that's what it's going to say in the future. Future people, I bet that's what it's going to say. It's going to give you some false advertisement, so when you buy the DVD and you push it in, it's just going to be all the more wrong. That movie is going to suck. I think IDBM, I don't know the name, they gave it 3 out of 5, I believe. Yeah, they gave it a 3 out of 5. Rotten Tomatoes gave it like a 26%. That movie got bad reviews all across the board. And this is why, this whole review is why that got so bad reviews. I don't know, these were the people that made Quantum 2, some house movie, like House on the Left or something. They messed up big time. Oh. Well, I feel like watching a good movie. So, this has been a review by me. Man, this movie sucked. I don't want to end talking about it because this movie was so bad. So bad. I'm starting to remember it now. I'm starting to remember the feeling I had towards this movie and how much I disliked this movie. This is the first movie I've done a rant on. I haven't done a rant on any movie, and no matter how bad, even Adam Sandler movies, I was just like, it's good, blended. Terry Crews is in it, but this movie is straight up bad, 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 bad. Don't wait for it to go on Ren. My final words on this movie is a 3 out of 10. 3 out of 10. It could have been way more better. They messed up. They messed up bad. They know they messed up. They know people are gonna go out there just to say, oh, it's a scary movie. It has a few jump scares, but it's not worth the money.